Oh, eh. Ooh, ooh. Apparently, we are live.
Apparently, we're live. All right, happy Thursday, everybody.
Wagwan popcorn.
Another Thursday night edition of Fuck Your Feelings, the show. We're going to need somebody to join in. We are broadcasting out of a new location. Everything's new. Our setup is...
It's not there yet.
Yeah, it's not there yet. We got some work to do, but we're trending in the right direction.
So this is the
Pixelated Samurai. Welcome.
This is the first episode of season 2.
Season 2.
And can you believe we made it to a season 2?
Yeah.
You weren't even really that into season 1 when it started.
No, I was into the show. Like I said, we're going to do this every Thursday. I've been saying that from day one. But we're gaining momentum, feeling a little more prepared.
Okay.
Unlike someone today.
First of all, I was getting ready.
Yeah. Okay.
I was very prepared.
I'm not going to get into it.
Hey, Twin Zinc Wagwan Popcorn.
Not going to get into it, but I could be your butthole today. But I'm going to choose not to be.
I was getting ready.
How I managed to be in a totally different location and ready before you.
I was trying to so here's the thing. I was trying to do some DIY stuff today.
Right.
And it was a huge fail. And so my whole day
not the fail part, but I could see your little projects and sorry, might make me an asshole, but I don't believe DIY projects take precedence over FYF projects.
I was getting ready. I had to anyhow.
Okay. She walked up here at 6:25.
Because I was getting ready downstairs.
Oh my God.
First, this is the first time I have done this. Usually I am ready to go. We are in a new space.
Pixelated Samurai is Shammy.
Hey!
She's on her other account tonight.
What up, girly?
We're going to struggle reading because we are just totally different configuration, totally different setup, and I've got to figure it out still.
Yeah, okay.
Let me see. If I tune in on my page, can I actually see the comments?
Yes, you will. I haven't, yeah.
All right. That will help the situation some.
They're going to be late, though.
Yeah, I can deal with late. And again, we can see ourselves. It's just this whole situation is new.
So for the next couple of weeks,
we have a dedicated space, so I'm not complaining. Don't get me twisted. I am not complaining. This is completely guest bedroom / studio. It's not much of a studio right now. So
we just moved. We just moved last weekend, and so it's been a process. And like I just said, I was trying to do DIY stuff. I don't know if DIY stuff is for me. However, I am frugal, and so the frugality is driving some of this DIY stuff. But again, if you don't actually have what you need, the materials for the DIY stuff, that shit costs money. And I was pissed today because I spent money and then I effed up my DIY project. Anyways, it's a whole thing.
This is going to sound bad, y'all. I'm sorry. What was it? Cake Impossible?
Oh.
How the female engineers do?
Oh, shut up. Hush your mouth. Then why aren't you doing it with me?
No, because I keep trying to explain to the woman, you cannot work in construction and not be patient. Like, you can't rush the concrete to dry.
I didn't rush. You would have been proud of me today. There's still stuff on the balcony that's drying. But I was trying a ting, as Jamaicans would say. I was trying a ting, and the ting didn't just work out. However, I have to fail. Right? I have to fail first to get it right. So I failed. I now am figuring out the next steps, what I need to do. So that's it, because money done. So.
I am a frugal DIY. Or what's that saying?
Sam, we're going to have to talk.
Yeah.
We're going to have to talk because honestly, I've been watching videos, trying to get stuff, peel and stick tiles. Like, I want to get this whole studio. I'm trying to create my own paintings. It's been a Don't look at me that way. It's a process. We went from a 2-bedroom,
All the fellas
one
is shaking
bath.
their heads with me like,
Okay.
gotta crawl for your welcome.
We went from a 2-bedroom, 1 bath to a 3-bedroom, 2 bath with 2 split levels. So I'm trying to create this process of different rooms with different personalities and anyhow.
We ain't even been here a week. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, whatever.
That's
Moving on. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Yes, we had to unpack that a little bit. Because she was wondering what was wrong with me, and I was just like, man, it's just the shoe was on the other foot, boy. It would be all.
But the shoe's on the other foot has been on the other foot for the last 25 episodes.
That's how creative revisionism.
It's been on you literally for the first 25 episodes of this show popped up 5, sometimes 2 minutes before. Let's not forget one show you showed up 5 minutes before the show even started. You weren't home. Doesn't matter. So this is my first time, and in season 2.
It's not your first time. That's the whole point.
That is a lie.
Shit. Look, we're not going to get into it because we know Toshiba can't let go of an issue. So we're just going to move on. And tonight's topic is no money, no honey.
That's fact.
Keeping the trend, keeping the topic. Again, March, we rebranded Black Finance Month. And we're just getting a little too stiff. Wanted to spice things up again. What a better way of going about it is the old proverbial saying, no money, no honey. First off, that only applies to fellas. Women, you can have all the money in the world you want. It doesn't guarantee you any honey.
I'm dying at Twins Inc. because he was saying fight, fight, fight.
No, those are our fights. We have adamant disagreements.
We have disagreements. We don't have fights.
Disagreements sometimes. Not very frequently, though. I would say I'm very happy with our argue ratio. But here's my thing, folks. And again, I'm going to leave Toshiba alone after this. She acts like I'm the only annoying person in this relationship. And I just do not find that to be true. That's all.
Okay, but...
I like the glitter you got going
thanks,
on, though.
Babe. But from a scale of annoyance, you rank high on the Richter scale. Like, if our annoyance level was like an earthquake, you'd be like the biggest earthquake ever.
The Bible says you cannot rank sin. Sin is sin.
Look at you quoting the Bible.
Annoying is annoying. It won't happen often.
I know it will not.
But
to prove a point. You're all there.
I will go to any historical reference.
You are more annoying than me. I am not saying that I am not annoying, but the annoyance level, you're off the scales. But continue. No money, no honey.
No money, no honey. So where does that come from? Like I said, I don't think that really applies to ladies. There's a lot of women with a lot of money, and they have a hard time finding some honey. But on the flip side, as a guy, rabbit ears ain't sexy.
What is rabbit ears?
That's when you pull your pockets out.
Oh my God! So I'm so female because that completely went over.
Yeah, female. It's not really a concern of yours. But we've been going through, and she was a big fan of Kevin Samuels.
Huge.
So am I. Not a huge fan, but I like most of his stuff. And like he says, you can't make it up. Every single night, this guy goes on the air, and these women call in with their ridiculousness.
Facts.
And here's the thing: there is a certain theme of it. You start here. Okay, ladies, if a man is focused on how much money you make, chances are he's not forecasting very much earnings for himself.
Ooh.
Is that fair?
I would say that's fair. I would say that's fair. I would not want a man focusing on how much money I make. You don't.
No. Well, but let me get. As a younger man in my 20s, I thought I wanted a partner. So I thought the more I make, the more she makes, the better it is for the household. I learned that that's not necessarily accurate.
What made you learn that? Like what was that lesson to say I don't want a partner? Because traditionally, you just quoted the Bible, like I'm supposed to be your helpmate, not your partner. Right? And so what made you think, well, I want a partner. I don't even know what that means because we all know I don't do partners. Like, I believe the man leads, I follow, like, I believe in more traditional values, even though in some ways I have the traits of a modern woman. I grew up in a very traditional household and how you're supposed to serve your man. I watched my mom do it to my dad, my stepmom, who I also call mom, my grandmother do it to my grandfather. Like, that's, I learned to do the things that I was supposed to do as a woman. I learned to, there's certain things that people honestly say. I think sometimes even with women, sometimes we need to just shut our trap, right? So I've learned, from my grandmother and so forth, like when to shut my trap, when not to say things, even though it's irking me, just to say, those are things that I learned. So I knew, like, the partnership thing wasn't going to work for me because if I was your partner, I felt like I'd be more in my masculine energy, and I never wanted to be in a space where I was completely entrenched in masculine energy in a relationship. And that's what I feel like partnership is. Like, a woman's got to kind of be in that masculine space to want to be a partner. Again, don't come for me, people, but that's just how I was raised.
No, I mean, I basically agree with that because a partner is 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like 50-50 on the bills, 50-50 on the decisions, 50. And here's the thing. Partnerships are great until you come to a fork in the road. And one of you wants to go left and one of you wants to go right. And it's kind of like coaching LeBron.
It's kind of like coaching LeBron. Let's hear this.
How difficult is it to coach a player who has more power in the organization than you do as the head coach?
Oh, it's got to be severely.
It's got to be mind-numbing.
I mean, we've all watched LeBron out there drawing out plays and stuff.
Waving the coach off, shut up. And that's what kind of ultimately happens in partnerships. Some people will execute it perfectly, but I'm a guy that I feel like at the end of the day, the man is responsible for the condition of the family. The woman is responsible for the condition of the children.
Correct.
So, if I'm responsible for the condition of the family, but you're just off doing whatever the hell you want to do, how does that work for me?
You don't have control of your family.
I don't have control of my family.
Facts.
And that's how I see it as a 45-year-old man.
So what was the turning point for you? Because again, you're in your first marriage, it was partnership, it was all of that stuff, which is so weird. Guys, like, for me to think about the Rob, 10 years ago, it's such an interesting, because I don't see that person at all.
That one, he didn't know how to be a husband, learning on the fly. A part of that is, I believe, the old ridiculous saying, happy wife, happy life. But through years of that, I learned that, damn, you busy making her happy, but she's not worried about your happiness at all.
Well, that's why, again, fuck your feelings, right? Because that was the definition of fuck your feelings, right? Like, it was about, her and her needs and her wants, and you were given into that idea, but ignoring your own, because your feelings probably weren't important.
No, and ultimately, how do you feel as a man if you want to be going north, but the car is headed south?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling, and I'm sure there's guys on here that are going through that, have experienced it, or have it potentially in their future. It's very difficult out here because independent, powerful, self-sufficient, however you want to look at it, it's like...
No, it's independent. It's not self-sufficient. Like, I'm self-sufficient.
Yeah, it's independent. It's like, if you're independent, if you don't need me, then why do I have to convince you of that? And ultimately, if I'm responsible for the wins and losses, I'm not going to have players just subbing their fucking selves in when they want to. It's going to go my way.
So, but do you think that the man then has to be the breadwinner in that relationship in order for it to go that way? Or if a woman is in her feminine, it doesn't matter who makes more money?
I think if a woman is in her feminine, it doesn't matter who makes more money, because there's a lot of high-earning women that defer to their man, respect their man. Like, he still runs the household. She just earns their bread, but I think that's a very rare percentage.
I was about to say that, because here is
very rare
I
percentage.
think here is the
but it can happen.
Here's the situation: the higher you go in salary, the lower I think your femininity is. And I'm speaking as a woman, because the role that you have to play, and I'm going to speak as a Black woman, the place that you have to be in when you're making 75, 85, 95, over six figures in the workplace, it's not a feminine place. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've been there, right? When you're making 85, 90, 95, $100,000 a year, you're not necessarily entrenched in your feminine. Well, because when you're the boss, right, you have to have boss, and especially as a Black woman, where again our voices aren't always heard, even though we're sitting at the table, and so we have to make it heard. And so now you're used to making your voice heard. How do you turn that off walking in with a alpha male who now, again, because he runs the ship, but you're saying I make money, like you don't get to say what you want to me, like. I'm not sure, and people let me know if you're in a space, if you're in a relationship like that, because again, we're talking like, yes, if a man doesn't have money, he's not going to get a woman, but a woman who makes too much money ain't necessarily going to get the level of man she wants if she's coming in again with that masculine.
She'll get a male, she might not get a man.
Oh. Mic drop.
And I'm just saying, like, that ain't no diss record, but not every guy is built the same. Not every guy, like, again, I'm an athlete, man. I was out there throwing bows and battling. You understand what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I ain't gonna front on it. Like, I'm out here competing with men. I'm not about to compete with a woman. Period.
Oh. There's that. Okay.
So if you want to jump in that arena and compete with men too, that's your business. But when you walk through that door, that's one thing Kevin talks about is how is it women are so well behaved on the job, but then they come home and get a man hell. How can you respect your boss at work, but you can't respect your boss at home?
Because we live in a society where money is supposed to trump everything, right? I mean, the title of our show, No Money, No Honey, right? Like, right. But again, it does not work in the reverse. So we want to say that again, it doesn't work in the reverse, right?
Levels to this, man. It really
right?
is, man.
So I think a lot of women have been put in a space where, again, we now live in a world where money is everything to people, right? Mm-hmm. Some people will choose the bag over their partner, their spouse. Over everything. Right? And so now you're in a situation where the woman is getting the bag. Because let's be clear, it isn't easy to get up in the ranks and make 75 or 85 or 95. So that should not be discounted, especially as a Black woman. And it's funny, in your job search, we've been noticing the difference. And when we have conversations with Joanne, who's our creative director, it starts to realize like, oh my God, some of the stuff that I do compared to how you do it, it's like, damn. You realize the difference of me in the workplace and you in the workplace, and how much easeful it is for you to be in the workplace than for me to be in a workplace on top of my like OCD. Yeah. But it's like a different world. So if a Black woman is at the bottom of the totem pole, for her to get to a 75, 85, 95, unless she's in a certain career where it's starting off in the six figures, it took some work, right? And so she's done all of that work. She's getting all of that praise at work. How does she come home now and submit? Because in some ways, she's got the money. She's the honey with the money.
This is going to sound crass as hell, but she got money, but she ain't got no dick.
Oh, put your dick away. That's going to be
I got the dick.
That's going to be
you're never going to bend me over.
Oh, I would hope not.
Never. I'm not hope not. I'm just telling you, you're never gonna bend me over. No. But I will have my way with you.
Yes, you will.
And that's how it is. And again, for some women that's like, ew. And for some women that's like, yay.
So when do you establish these rules? Right?
Right off the bat. Like that, it's like no disrespect. It's like, look, if you whipping yours out and want to put it next to mine and see whose is longer is disrespectful. Would you agree?
Facts.
You know, your imaginary dick is gonna measure up to my real one. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So you get that addressed off the gate.
So is that how men are looking at some women who are coming with that? I don't just, what is it? Like, what do you bring to the table? I am the table. I bring the table. I do all of that. Like, are you guys looking like, bitch, put your dick away? Like, because I'm not trying to hear that.
No, that's why we got the conversation, though, because, again, I don't know how I would receive myself at 25. I might be like, nah, man, I'm trying to, household income.
Okay.
I'm making money, you making money, we can. But like I said, if I'm a doctor and you're a lawyer, who stays home with the kids when they're sick? We both got important jobs.
I mean, mom should stay home. But in some people's relationship, it's whoever makes
the most money.
The most money goes to work.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. All of that stuff gets really confusing.
So, if you had to give advice to your younger self, right? Your 20, how old were you when you got married to your first wife?
28.
To your 26-year-old self. If you could give advice to your 26-year-old self about, God, that's almost 20 years ago. What advice would you give yourself?
You were not crazy as a bachelor.
That's the advice you would give yourself.
Yeah. Because I actually talked myself out of the stuff that I now know at 45. But again, at 25, you couldn't talk to me about nothing. But then I was like, I guess I was tired of being lonely. And I literally remember being with a group of my friends, and they was all booed up, and we was in Vegas, and it was New Year's, and shit was fire, and I'm just like, I'm lonely. So I started looking, and I'm not, if I would have made it, I don't even want to say that. Like, I started putting away the things that I knew would work for me and started opening it up to whatever might present itself. Like, again, looking for like a partnership. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden it felt like you can't do what you're trying to do like that, and now I know it's not that you don't have feedback, it's not that you don't have a say, it's not that you don't have influence, but you're in agreement. When we don't agree, we do it my way.
That's the way.
And in my marriage, we did not have that understanding or that agreement or even that practice. She consistently did what the fuck she wanted to do.
So how does that, and men, how does that work for you? Because, and I guess specifically for you, Rob, it's so interesting when I hear some of these stories, because you were a man who was making big money when most men were just trying to figure it out.
I was fucking up big money too, though. So
yeah, but like... I get it. I get that. But you were still, you're getting, checks that were 10, 15 grand playing ball.
Yeah. And I was...
Not for the entire season, like in a month.
Yeah, and I was blowing $1,000 in a night.
Again, I get that. But again, how did you go from that man who's used to being the man with the money and getting the honey to, I want to settle down, now let me talk about partnership, when you were making money in your 20s that some people aren't making today in their 40s?
Because I didn't at that time understand the importance of employing your woman, of your woman making you her job. Then I was thinking, again, like two halves come together, make a whole. The stronger the halves are, the stronger the whole. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't always work like that. And for some couples, it does. But I think inherently, like we've said back before, if you have a hard time following that man's lead, he's probably not the right man.
He's not the right man for you. I say it in my book, No Handouts for Black Girls, in case you guys have not gotten it. I have a book that says No Handouts for Black Girls, and I got into a whole argument with somebody online because they were saying that, in this new modern day world, it should be 50-50, and when the man can't lead, then the woman should take charge. And I was like, I'm sorry. No. If you don't allow your man to lead, you don't trust him to lead, he's not that man for you. I grew up with a father who was a leader. Now, my daddy was a lot of things. Love him. He's a great daddy, a flawed man. But I grew up with a father who was a leader. So I understood what it meant to watch a man lead and women follow. I saw the same thing with my grandparents. Again, they didn't have perfect relationships, but the relationships that they had worked. And so for me, I was like, that's what I wanted. And in my first marriage, I tried that. He, again, tried to be a good husband, very flawed man. But I knew that the next person I got with my next husband, that is what I wanted. I actually needed that because it was important for me.
Here's the thing, and like Mr. Samuel says, not slavery, not Jim Crow, not segregation, none of that shit put the black family in chaos quite the way that college and feminism did. Because in slavery, you knew you needed me.
Yeah.
There was no shadow of a doubt about it.
Fact.
You needed me for, if nothing else, protection.
Correct.
Same thing in Jim Crow.
Correct.
Same thing in segregation when they was sicking dogs and fire hoses on y'all.
Correct.
You knew you needed me.
Absolutely.
Went to college, started reading some feminist books, and said, fuck you. I don't need you. I got this.
Because I've got money. I'm going to go make money.
And that's what fucked us up.
But I think for me, I was born in Jamaica, right? Like when the feminism and all that stuff, I don't think that ever hit Jamaica because, to be quite frank with you, I never saw, like, I hear about that.
It didn't hit the rest of the world. It just hit America, specifically the black community. And I don't know. It was a lot of factors to it. And again, I get it. We were going through so much as a community. I honestly can't blame the black woman for saying, you know what? I'm gonna take a shot at this on my own. I honestly can't say I blame her because shit. Look what the black man was going through at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But after 30, 40, 50 years, it's kind of interesting that we're the only community that's still kind of keeping that message going. What area in business or commerce or politics or science do you see single people at the top of the industry?
They never are. Any boss I've ever worked for, male or female, was married.
Everything in life you don't get access to until you couple yourself with another person.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard in these streets for the lone wolf, man.
Anybody disagree with that? Anybody disagree with the fact that the best you get out of life is being with someone? Because we're here. We're doing the show. I think for me, it's coming with someone who, again, is strong where you're weak and vice versa, right? And that's the thing that goes for us, right? Like, there are times, and I know deference is a bad word to defer for most people, but there are certain things that I defer to Rob, and there's certain things that Rob defers to me. It works that way. He knows that's not my strength, but Toshiba really likes it, or it's her strength, and vice versa. We don't generally step on each other's toes a lot because, again, in a lot of the places, we kind of do that balancing act, right? Like, if you were looking at a scale, we actually quite balance. There isn't and again, if there is a fork in the road and he's going right, I'm going right with him. That's just how that is. But it's interesting for me that people think that they can go through this world alone because of money, right? Money has become something that people feel, well, I don't need people because I have money.
Do you know how hard life is having to pay somebody to do everything?
No. I don't know.
Because again, you have a network, you have a social structure, you have friends. I told you, you have life friends. You know, most women, if you ask them their friends group, and it's probably, the oldest friend is probably 5 or 6 years.
Well, that's not good.
Because women can't stand each other.
Well, I remember when Rob actually said that to me, that one of the things, because again, we were talking about our lives and our backgrounds and friendships and so forth, and he said one of the things that attracted him to me was the fact that when I talked about my friendship, they were long-term friendships. Like, you know, the first friend of mine he met when we went to New York, I'd known her since I was 5 years old from Jamaica. right? And so I'm 42 now, so you're talking about 37 years. And then my best friend, my core group from Toronto, we've been friends since university, 18. So you're looking at 24, 25 years of friendship. And that was one of the things he said that mattered. And it's funny, I'd never heard a man put it to me that way, but it made sense. He's like, listen, if other women can't stand you, basically.
You can't maintain relationships with other women. How in the hell can you maintain a relationship with a man?
And that was a big deal. I never thought, I don't know if a lot of men have thought about that and used that as a criteria. I've never heard that being used as a criteria to choose your next spouse, your next, significant other. Because I don't like that word.
Look, partner. A lone wolf by definition is masculine.
Correct.
Feminine women have support. Y'all support each other. That's correct. What y'all do. That's why the saying is, it takes a village to raise a child.
Correct.
It's not a village of men.
That is correct. That is very correct. That is very correct. That you just dropped. That is very correct. It is not a village of men raising children.
Kids still messed up. Look, no cap. I have a 12-year-old daughter. I rely on this woman implicitly when it comes to her because there's only so much I can do. I'm just being real.
That is very true.
Danny don't want to talk to me about certain shit.
No, she does not. She comes to mommy.
But when she needs a man,
she goes to daddy.
She goes to daddy.
Yeah.
When she needs to feel safe, she goes to daddy.
Yeah.
When she needs to feel protected, she goes to daddy. But when she needs to talk about something,
she's not going to daddy.
She goes to her. Because daddy give her some blunt, crazy advice.
She's like, I want to hear that. Where's mom? There are times she comes in the house, she's like, where's mommy?
Again, and that's something. The quote-unquote modern woman, she ain't got a lot of friends. She's too busy chasing the bag. She's too busy. Look at all these reality shows, the real estate girls. All they do is cutthroat each other, stab each other in the back, stomp on each other. That's man energy. Fighting to the death, skirmishes. That's men. Women, y'all not catty. Okay, y'all might get scratched up.
No, we do get catty.
Y'all get catty, but not beheading. That's masculine energy.
But everybody wants to chase the bag. Because it's funny. It's funny. I wanted to bring this up because we have a clip. I think it was either yesterday or today that I put out, and it was where I was talking about the fact that there are a lot of women who will say that a marriage certificate is just a piece of paper and it doesn't really matter. And I basically said, well, so is money, right? Money's also just a piece of paper. And then one of our followers basically commented. I don't know if she's since responded, but she commented and said, well, I'm happily married, but I'm also about my bag. And then I said to her, well, if you had to choose which paper is more important, and she said the bag.
Yeah. I mean,
but then my response to her, and again, I don't have the answer. I can look it up to see if she responded. I said, okay, what do you think your husband would say? And does your husband know that would be your answer? Because I don't know if, Rob said something last week, and it is so true. He said, what is the most important title, basically, a man can give a woman? And that's the title of wife, right? That's it.
There's nothing more a man can make you.
He can't give you anything
There's nothing else he can make
but changing your last name. So
how's that a bad thing?
So for me, it was interesting to hear that these days from women where it's like, okay, yes, a man gave me that. He's changed my last name, but if it came down to it, I'd still chase the bag. So what else can men do? If that alone, and again, we get it. Men understand that if you don't have money, that you shouldn't be out there on the market. But there are some women who feel like their money makes them, I guess, more eligible on the market. But men these days are saying, fuck that.
They wind up with men who are attracted to their money.
And then all men become shit. Because the men
because again, honestly, a man focused on his bag, a man with belief and ability in his bag, is focused on that, not yours. Like, look here, you are amazing, but I think we both know you will not out-earn me.
Well, after our conversation this week and our creative director's on, clearly not, because I'm giving way too much. mean, way too
and
much
that's
for
not
myself.
a diss record. Y'all make 76 cents on a fucking dollar. So how you gonna out earn me?
Oh, and black women make less. That's white women. I think we make like 60 something.
Look, if a man on his shit, ain't no way you gonna out earn him. And if you are, then maybe you need to reevaluate. Maybe he's not the man for you.
Do you think that matters? Do you think
I think it matters if you let it. But
like how much is too much for like if there is we're sitting down and we're comparing notes about how much we make and you put your number, I put my number out. How much where you're looking that damn she makes a lot of money. I'm not quite sure if this is going to work. And I'm not saying money is the only determining factor, but it is a huge factor.
That's a good question.
Right? Like if you put your number and your number is 110 and she throws her number is 175. Like is 110 and 115 not much of a difference. 110 and 175 a hell of a lot of different. 75 and 105 because now she's crossed the 6-figure mark and you still down there in the little 15 percenters, I guess. Guys, I'm gonna also ask the guys how much is too much.
But for me,
guys, how is if a woman made more money than you?
There isn't no amount. That's the thing because women of, and again, this sounds fucked up, but women of other races make plenty bread too, but they manage to go home and be wives. Mm-hmm. And that's really the point of Kevin's platform to me. Is like, why is every other race, no matter what they're doing independently, able to come home and follow the leadership of their husband?
Because they weren't taught to be independent; they were taught to be self-sufficient.
Right. Get you a man. Why is that a bad message? I am raising my daughter to be able to keep her man.
That's right.
I know that's what she's instilling her. She's raising her to be a wife. I can't raise her to be a wife. I don't know nothing about that. But I can raise her how to keep a man. And you don't keep him by constantly pulling your dick out.
And do you think that's what happens with women who make more money?
Or you wind up with a guy who's into dicks.
Okay, so how about the argument, right? Then get your bag up. So I'm going out there.
I ain't the man for you. That argument, I would. I ain't the man for you. Because if a nigga's assistant manager making $13.75 at McDonald's, if he's the right man for you, all of that huffing and puffing and swollen chest stuff goes away.
Does it really?
Yes. Because again, everybody got, like, okay, here's a statement. Back to the sexy talk. Everybody a hoe to somebody.
That's facts. I'm your hoe.
Your great granny, it was a man out there somewhere that was like, boy, listen. Unless she married your granddaddy and that was it, you know. But they did stuff like that back in the day. But the woman, again, she has the list, the stuff she's not going to do for you. But she's with you. That's because you're not the right man for her. Because let 50 Cent come along and that list gets shortened. You dig me? If she's into 50 Cent.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Take your woman's favorite celebrity. She ain't got no choice. Smack it, flip it, rub it down. She's got no problem with it. So that's also for men. If you find yourself having problems controlling, like I said, I can't deal with an uncoachable woman, man. I can't. I've learned that through my experience.
Not uncoachable.
What am I here for?
But here's the thing.
If you're bringing strength to the relationship, what am I supposed to bring? If you're bringing leadership to the relationship, what am I supposed to do?
Here's the question, though. Shouldn't she already be coached?
I'm gonna leave
Does she have to be
to the ladies?
Coachable. Because here's the thing. A lot of women will find that offensive. Right? What do you mean coachable? Why would you need to coach me?
Coaching means listening to direction for those that aren't clear on it.
Again, but we come from sports, right? We are both athletes. You professional, me going school, but we're both athletes, so we get it, right? Like, you're only as good as your worst player. You're only as good as the worst leg on your track team. That's what I ran track for God, most of my life. So I understand that. We get that. We played sports. Unfortunately, not a lot of people get that concept. So for them, the word coachable, cooperative, all of those things seem, oof, it's like an icky word. It's that slavery. We're like, oh my God, you want me to be a slave to my man. But we understand that it is important for the success of a relationship that we're able to do that. Because again, where you're strong, I'm weak, and vice versa. That's where the coaching comes in, right? That's where it is, where sometimes you're like, babe, okay, if you do it this way and do it that way, it doesn't mean that I'm going to do it all the time, but it just means that you're trying to get me to a point where I at least have an understanding and a frame of reference. And if I'm like, yo, nah, I don't care, da, 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 that's one thing. I'm like, okay, babe, that's...
You know, I never thought this before. The tradition of the woman taking the man's last name when they married is as old as we are.
Yes. Oh.
Why? Why do we do that?
Because you give up, as a woman, you give up your life with your family and you join your man in your new family.
Who you were before doesn't matter. You're now my wife.
Yes. Okay.
What is wrong with that?
Oh no, you're supposed to get the pay. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, the messaging is get the money. Because again, you know, even though our title's No Money, No Honey, for a man that means something different than a woman.
Okay, and I think that's where men, we got fucked up a little bit. And like, look, it's you getting your job and you making money is icing on the cake.
Correct.
Did it make a difference on whether we kept a roof over our head or not?
No. This is my money.
It's your fucking money.
It's my money. My money is my money.
So if
I treat you, and let the people know I do treat you.
That's a great segue. So if we're in a 50-50 relationship, you still got that attitude that it's your money. Your $90,000 is your money. Mm-hmm. But all of my money is supposed to go towards bills. Mm-hmm. You don't see how
that's wrong. Because that's not 50-50. Like, to me, 50-50 is when the mortgages come due, I'm putting in my half, you're putting in your half.
When the check comes, you don't move your hand.
Like, I'm paying. That's a 50-50 relationship.
Get you something out your purse or something.
Like to me, that's a 50-50 relationship.
Most men ain't got no problem with that.
What? No problem with paying the way?
It's just it all got so jacked up. Again, no money, no honey. Men understand. We get it. But y'all just started making it so.
So let me ask you a question. Because again, Kevin Samuels. Love Kevin Samuels. Yep. I was watching him several times here. So here is the thing that is interesting. So men seem to understand about dating in their tax bracket. Does that make sense? Like most men
out
who
your league?
make yes, because men talk about
of being out your
this
league.
girl's out your league.
Yes. Quasimodo looks at Beyonce and says, not a chance. But Rasputia looks at Jay-Z like, I'm going to get him. Why is that?
Because women don't believe in something as
y'all think that coochie is just
golden.
Exactly. What I was listening to some highlight, like the what do you call the sizzle reels of Kevin's earlier, and it was one that was hilarious to me because this woman with 2 kids was talking about she was celibate. She was waiting until she got married. And again, it happens all the time on that show. But
it's so funny.
So Kevin is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like she's like, "Oh, my coochie is worth the wait." He's like, "How the fuck you got 2 kids?"
Oh, 2 different baby daddies?
Yes.
Oh no.
Them niggas ain't wait.
Oh no, girl. Oh no, girl.
Oh, no money, no honey. But on the flip side, you don't get to rise past your baby daddy. Is that unfair?
That's what Uncle Kevin likes to say. You don't get higher than your baby daddy.
Is that fair?
I would think so because you just gave that man the high, like to me the
Thank
highest
you.
gift
What's
that
the highest gift a woman can
a
give a man?
child. It's
Thank
his
you.
legacy.
Thank
like,
you. Thank you.
I
Thank you.
gave my daughter's father his legacy. Like I remember when he wanted to have another child, he came right to me and I was like, dude, like no, we're not gonna do that. I don't even want more kids. But that was his thing. Like you gave me that, I'd love another one. Give me another one, right? Because he understood that was the highest. I can't give you anything higher than a child.
So, with that being said, I think it's imperative that women, if you want to be a wife, consider that when you are trying to create a family without that title. And that's not a diss record. It happens so much in this society. I get it. Y'all can do what y'all want to do. But if the highest title I can give you is a wife, and if the highest respect you can give me is a child, which one should come first?
I should be a wife, says the
So
single
since
mother.
tradition, look, the ancients wasn't fucking crazy. That's what I'm really trying to say.
Now, here is now the question. So, should people without money be looking to have children? I know it's a terrible thing because children are amazing and a blessing to me. Because do men look at that? Do men look at, like I'm just not in a financial place to have a child? Because I think, again, men and women think differently. As women, the baby is in you. There's the oh my God, I have this child in me. The child is growing. But men don't experience that for 9 months. So for 9 months, I feel like men are experiencing, holy crap, I've got a child. Especially if it's not within the confines of an actual relationship. It's just whatever. Now you're thinking, can my pockets handle that child? Like what's going through a man's mind versus a woman thinking this child is in me and it doesn't matter about the money because I've got love and all the child needs is love and all those different things. I didn't think that way. There's one point I was like, I'm not even sure. Like, are we even in a space to do this? Because I understood money was important. But again, as the mother, I'm the nurturer. You're supposed to be the protector and the provider. So in your mind, you're thinking, what's my bread look like? Or how whatever men say is what y'all say. What my bread look like.
All right, let's go back 1,500 years.
A lot of mercy.
Right? And people had way less understanding of reproduction and contraception, right?
Yes, they did. There was no contraception.
Do you think there was a lot of pregnancy in the midst of a 5-year drought?
No.
What are you going to feed the kids?
That's facts. You have no money. You have nothing. You're struggling.
And that comes back into the fact. Bunny ears don't make the dick hard. If a guy's got bunny ears and a rock hard penis, that's probably an indicator that he's got his priorities askew.
So I just learned for people who are new, bunny ears mean when a guy goes into his pockets and it's empty.
Nothing
Thank
there.
you for teaching
There's
me something.
nothing there. And when he swipes the card, there's nothing there. And again, look, living check to check is a real thing in America.
Yes.
That means on payday you got however much you get paid, and by Monday morning you got
whatever else is left.
Whatever's left. that's real. Okay, so I'm not talking about the guy who's
they're still making his money, making sure the roof is over his head.
Zero earners. I'm talking about unemployed. I'm talking about that caliber of guy. Like, yeah, I don't think that guy's got no.
But here's my thing. So I would listen.
That's like.
But that man is not getting no pum pum from me, and this is what I don't. This is where I don't understand that aspect of women when they're still giving up cooch to broke Tyrone. Like he has no money, and I'm not trying to say like I'm a gold digger or anything, but I have to think about. Listen, men are meant to take care of the child financially, right? Like there are reasons women are built the way we are. There are reasons men are the way they are. That's biology. That's just the reality. We're built certain ways. The hunters and gatherers, right? Like there's certain from time. So for me, if my man don't got no money, why am I giving him no pum pum to have a baby?
I'm gonna hear like one thing Kevin likes to say is pick a struggle. Mr. Samuels, pick a struggle. That applies to men and women. Bros, pick a struggle.
Either you're broke or
You can't be a felon, a high school dropout, have a little penis,
Oh no, not the little penis.
and not be attractive and expect to get a top-notch chick. I think there's no man that checks all of those boxes and thinking he's gonna bag a 10.
Facts.
But you will have women who check all of those same boxes. Like, remember, what was it? I got 3 baby daddies. They all gang bang.
Yeah. I got 3 baby daddies and they're all
I want somebody
gangbang.
to take care of me.
Yeah, and she wanted to be somebody's wife.
Why the fuck would a nigga who could take care of you want to? Because your coochie good? No, and here's another point, guys, man. Like, look, if you tired of the struggle, man, on a certain level, I remember I gave one of my partners this advice, man. Yo, you are fit enough, you financially straight enough that, man, like, when you get lonely or whatever, man, just call a professional, bro. That ass. Hit her with that little 300, 400, 500, whatever you got to hit her with, and it's over and done. And next time you get the urge, you just drop the same bread. But for you, it ain't even worth it.
The stress of a relationship. Because he's got money.
And you just
because here's the thing: once you have money, you have more choices. But it's, again, if traditionally the man is supposed to be making the money, he has more choices. Women have less choices. And why? Like, really, let's think about why
let's be
is
real.
that?
I mean, I think I'm more attractive now than I was at 25 playing basketball. Like, again, if you're smart. But again, I was having financial struggles when we met. Mm-hmm. But I also had graduated college twice.
Right.
I also am not a felon.
Correct. Important.
I also had 10 years at a Fortune 100 company.
Correct.
So my struggle was financial.
Correct. You didn't have the other struggles.
I picked a struggle.
You did.
And my struggle was because I hadn't worked in a fucking year.
That is right. COVID. So I get it.
So you making an quote unquote look here, you women, you don't always get the finished product. And a lot of men, here's the secret. A lot of men do have the mentality that if you don't starve with me, you can't eat with me. There is no way I am going to grind to make myself this man up here and then go trolling in the kiddie pool for a partner, a wife, a spouse. No, once I get up here, I'm looking up here. I want access to what niggas up here got.
Oh.
Fuck, I'm gonna go back down to the hood.
Oh. I'm just gonna say a prayer for that one. That was probably the realest way to ever put that. And I think women who have that mentality that just by the virtue of being a woman and having a vagina, that should give me access to whatever man I want. Well, that's the thing, right? But there are women who feel like they don't need to put in work, right? Like, and it was funny because Rob and I were having a conversation, and he was like, leave you for what? And I forgot what I even said to you, and you were just like, I'd never leave you. Like,
no, that's fact though. Like when when a woman comes in and makes an impression and an impact and shit starts moving, why is a nigga looking to replace that? But when a nigga comes in, all of a sudden he calling out sick because he got drama and he got a black eye, you done punch him in the fucking eye, or all of this drama and stress and chaos, like, you think he's not, like, yo, the trauma keeping him around right now. As soon as he get his mind right, he gone.
So money for women really means no honey. So instead of no money, no honey, it sounds like for women, like money is
big
no
money,
honey.
no honey. Like, I mean, you can be Oprah and get your Stedman, but like, how many women celebrity crushes Stedman?
I don't know.
Is he even a celebrity?
No, Stedman's just a regular guy.
He's Oprah's
He's
husband.
also whatever.
Might as well be Oprah's wife.
Oh, there's that.
You know what I'm saying? And it's jacked up. I think most women, that's why Kevin is like, again, Mr. Samuels has that. Why are all women chasing the top 10% of men? You don't think men chasing the top 10% of women? But what values is different. Y'all don't even have women. Again, another fucked up thing. Women are high demand, not high value.
That is true. So that was an interesting conversation, because I think a lot of women try to define themselves as high value women using the same things that like are used for men. And I've never looked at it that way. It's always like the reality of my life will show me whether or not a man values me because it's based on me being in demand, right?
Ooh, I think about, here's one of those extreme outliers. I'm sorry to cut you off, baby, but your fave, no, she's one of your faves. Rihanna is worth $1 billion, but she is so fucking high demand because she's always, always, always in her feminine energy. Even when she singing the most ratchet song you can think of. Niggas will always check for Rihanna because they don't feel like they would have to overtalk Rihanna.
Well, that's why people, they're punching the air.
They're big mad over that shit.
Because she's pregnant with Rocky's baby. Right? A lot of men were punching the air.
Look, man, every rap nigga wanted Rihanna, man.
But you make a good point.
She's West Indian. She's Caribbean.
She's Caribbean. I was just about to make that point because she's Caribbean.
So regardless of how much money she makes, she understands like a real man got to be a man. So again, her bag definitely bigger than Rocky's.
Absolutely.
You think Rock give a fuck?
No, because she still makes him feel like he's the man.
He's running the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't get bigger than Rihanna. I'm just saying. It's Rihanna. Love me some Rihanna.
Shout outs to ASAP.
But here is the thing, and I think that's a clip because if women were to think about it in that way, when most women ain't gonna ever have Rihanna money. But for them, the little money that they do, they feel like that should put them in a leadership position. And here's the thing. I hear a lot of women saying, but I want to come home and follow. Just give me a man that can lead me. But the man shouldn't have to show you he can lead you. You should just be able to follow.
He should see that you're coachable. Like, that's not a conditional. That, like, again, that on Mr. Samuel Show, they frequently say, if he would do this, then I would. That's like sitting down for the job interview. It's like saying, show me the job, and then I'll show you I can do it. Give me the job, then I'll show you I can do it. Good luck getting that job.
That was a good one, too. Because that is actually how we're viewing relationships in this modern time, right? Because again, money has become such a thing. Like, we were broke, right? Think about being in slave days. There was no money. We weren't even getting money.
We didn't get divorced.
I was even thinking about the fact that, women were watching their men being whipped. White men on horses were whipping our men. Those women would go back to their cabins with their husband and dress his wound. And love him and kiss him and give him all of that because she understood that him getting whipped meant she wasn't. Exactly. And she would go home and take care of him. And now we look 100 and something years later, and women are looking down on men who are actually going out there in somewhere proverbially getting whipped in the corporate world and saying you're not good enough for me, but our great grandmothers were out there nursing wounds, and you guys have wounds. I say that to you all the time, right? Like, your wounds may not be visible, but as a 6'9" black man going out to this world, I understand what you're dealing with. And so coming home, I try to be your peace. It isn't always successful. Again, we're not up here trying to be couple goals, but I would give it 95% of the times I do that.
You know what it is? And you just made me think about it. Because black men have to shrink themselves in the world, and we're tired of shrinking ourselves at home. I'm not going to do it anymore. You got to deal with full-fledged me at home. And I don't say that is like being mean or trying to get rid of you or run you off or none of that. I think you understand that. You get it. It's like, yo, I got to shrink myself. Like, I'm a 6'9" black man, but I got to. Because, again, intimidating black men don't tend to do well in corporate America. So you have to articulate, crack jokes, be more out
Likeable all around.
Likeable.
Yeah.
Make them.
They want to have to play golf with you. Yeah.
Threatened.
Yeah. They want to play golf.
And the
with
minute
you
even show a little bit that you're upset, it's almost like all that shit just goes out the window. It's back to clutch my pearls.
That was a really good point, and I think women, do you think about that? And I don't know how many ladies are on right now. I can't see the numbers, but do you think about the fact that your man has to shrink himself out into the world, and then he comes home and he's overpowered by you because you want him to meander to your needs and your feelings, but he's been doing that out in the world, in every space that you're in. I mean, Rob's different in many ways because there's not a bunch of women dating 6'9" and married to 6'9" men, but the reality is I understood that. Like, I got that. And that's why, for me, again, it was so important to create solace and peace in the home, because that's crazy. So
she said, I worried about that every day. That's Shammy. Like, I mean,
and I'm glad you say the word worry, because there is a bit of a worry, right? There is money cannot solve all of the issues we have, right? And I think that love can solve more issues than money can. I think loving someone, caring about someone, respecting someone, cherishing someone, all of that, like, it's interesting that a man does best at work when he's got a good home life.
Hey, yo, like, and I'm really not trying to, because you're on point, but I'm gonna go with some 21 Savage right now.
Oh, okay.
Fuck love, give me loyalty.
Oh, yes, we've talked about that.
Are you committed to the commitment?
That is
love will get you a commitment. Loyalty will get you commitment to the commitment.
Yeah.
And I think that's more what our community needs. We don't need no love. We need some fucking loyalty, man.
That is fact. So, in retrospect, it's a good life lesson I have now learned. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Shammy. Because that's true. But we've talked about that, right? Like, we've talked about our happiness is actually not the thing in our relationship. Like, happiness is not the first on our list, because we're not going to make each other every day. But what keeps us together is our commitment to the commitment. Why were you tripping when you came home?
Because you was still bullshitting a little bit. And it was just...
I was just getting ready. I had spent a whole day DIYing and trying to DIY.
I thought you would be like waiting on me at the door like, show that, yay. You just jumped in the shower. I'm like, nigga. I went out there and watched TV for a second. Did my little
I swept up your whole
routine.
Outside balcony area, and it was clean, and it was, so don't even, you can't even, like, you came home to everything where it was supposed to be.
Sidebar, they tried to getify our new place. They had to replace the water heater when we got here. And then they left that shit out there for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, they did.
And I was not feeling it because that's my little outside man area, patio.
Yeah, we have 2 balconies. He's got his space. I've got my own space. So
get that. It looked like like a car engine hanging from the tree.
Yeah, it did look. It did look.
I wasn't feeling it.
But you came home and it was swept, and it was clean, and I wiped out. So don't even try me.
Thank you.
All right then. So back to regular scheduled programming, being committed to the commitment, and I think here's the thing: like, a lot of women are thinking, I need to find my person, because my person is about love and warmth and feeling. And you're saying, most men are saying, fuck love. Are you loyal? Are you going to be there? Because again, if women are the ones who are filing for divorce 80 whatever % of the time, Uncle Kevin likes to say, it's clear we're disloyal. But yet, as women, we always talk about we want loyalty, but filing for divorce when a man gave you the highest honor by making you his wife sounds dishonorable.
Quoting Chris Rock.
Okay, I don't know the movie.
Men lie more, women tell bigger lies.
That is true. That is true. When you peel back the layers sometimes, when women are telling you stories and you're just like,
men
girl,
will
that
be
don't
like,
even sound
I was
right.
at Tyrone house and he was at Kevin house or doing some whatever. Women will tell you a lie like, it's your baby.
Oh, no, that is true.
And it's not.
No, it's your baby. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
So we can judge, which one's worse or whatever. But again, not, we are the same coin, just opposite sides of it. I don't know how it got to be that we were like two separate entities.
Okay, so Dahlia Joanne says wholeheartedly disagree on that. I want to hear what you disagree on.
Which one was that on?
I don't know which one she disagrees with because I was saying a whole
we're
lot of
slow
stuff.
too. So you have to expound
on what you disagree on, lady. So, loyalty, love. Men will take loyalty over love. So they will go down on many other things and choose loyalty.
Well, because we know that we are probably at some point going to make you want to leave us. It's in our nature.
Why do you say that?
Because we're fucking... Look, like Mr. Samuel says, men are expected to go out there and be gladiators and fight with other men and then come home and be good boys. Mm-hmm. How? Like, you ever see, it was an old interview, but like, I think it was Richard Sherman.
Okay.
And they interviewed him like right after the game, and he was just like, ah! Like, snapping. And it's like, he's not even really that kind of guy, but you can't just step off the field and step into
no, you
a
don't
tuxedo.
switch. No, you don't switch. It's impossible.
It takes hours
I get that.
to get out of that space.
Yeah.
Adrenaline going crazy. You was just out there like...
Yeah.
And now you're back to... Like, that's why soldiers have such a hard time coming home. Because it's a fucking real transition. Like, I was just over there doing crazy shit. And now I'm sitting here eating key lime pie, and it feels weird. Mm-hmm. Because we are... That's how we're wired. We're wired to be attracted to that. Mm-hmm. That's what allows us to hunt and chase and battle and risk our lives the way that we do. Y'all are not wired like that. Y'all wired to stay home and keep the kids safe.
So do you think the idea that we just are not understanding each other? Because again, back to the show, it's become such a money-driven world. And especially in our community where, again, there's the, where the black woman is the most educated and, we're out earning, which is actually that's not actually fact. That's not fact. Black men are actually out earning black women in the U.S., but that's another story for another day. I'll bring the stats on that. But money has become such a thing. And again, a lot of people think chasing money chasing the bag is because women should never chase. Right?
No.
So you're hearing something like chasing the bag. You're hearing all of that, which again all sounds
hunting the
masculine.
bag. That's masculine.
Yeah, it all sounds masculine. But again, there is not an understanding of how men and women operate. It doesn't seem as if women have an understanding of how men think and operate. Men seem to have a bigger and better understanding of how we operate.
Because we know that damn near every fucking thing we do is for y'all. And y'all don't want to do nothing for us no more. Literally, damn near everything a man does. This shirt, I wouldn't give a fuck.
I saw that you took it out of the closet. I was like, he's wearing the shirt.
Haircuts, bathing, all of it. We wouldn't give a fuck if not for women, if not for attracting women. And then men sitting around here in 2022 like, damn, women don't want to do nothing for a nigga no more. So we're like, okay, cool. They got professionals.
There's that. Okay.
Because you can't be a professional talking about... I know some of them strip clubs, there's some masculine energy up in there. It's crazy. I don't even like the strip club no more.
There's a lot of masculine energy in this strip club.
You want to dance? The fuck?
I honestly remember the days where, like, it was the best of the best women who were there.
Thank you, Sam.
She said I was going to compliment on that paisley button-up bra. I chose it because, again, if you were not here last week, I have given up on Rob going shopping with me, so I go shopping, I buy the clothes, He tries it on. So
like
far, I haven't had to
stays.
return
Nope,
anything because he's liked everything. It fits the way that I want. Again, he came on one show looking like a homeless person. I was boycotting that show, and so I'd had enough. And so coming into this new season, you're going to see Rob. Like, he going to be on it. I'm going to have to be watching for the ladies.
Everything's going to be bigger for season 2. Not too much bigger because still working on that new job, but everything else is we are going to see the constant progression. Like, we are, again, if you don't invest in yourself, why the fuck would anybody else?
So here's the thing. A lot of women are saying that about men. Like, you're not investing in yourself. And so this is why I can't follow you, because you're not doing this, because you're not making this, and so you're not doing that. And so,
not the right man for you. Why are you even attracted to that man?
That is true. Because what?
Can women be Captain Save-A-Ho?
No.
Yes,
We should not be.
They can be, though.
I guess we can, but we should not be.
Can women have the cape on?
I guess we should not.
No, there's a lot of examples where women put the cape on, because again, the cape is kind of masculine. I'm not saying, like, I'm not a fan of Supergirl. Catwoman, cool. Catwoman's dope because she's in her feminine.
Well, a feline
energy.
is feminine. Like, a cat is probably the most feminine, like, mammal, or what are they? I don't know, whatever animal. We'll just call them animal. Like the feline.
But she's
feline. Like it's a whole thing. Like Eartha Kitt as Catwoman wasn't masculine. She's Eartha Kitt is femininity.
Femininity, exactly. Not She-Hulk. Where She-Hulk is cool for a TV show, but I'm imagining she has a hard time on the dating scene.
But here's the thing, because I talk about it in the book, and Joanne is on as the editor, and when I talked about it, I do talk about, as Black women, we have ended up being Captain Save-A-Ho in so many different aspects. When we look at, say, the last American election, it was a lot of Black women that were behind Joe Biden even becoming president of the United States. And so we take up causes and we take up all that. We feel like we need to be in that space of constantly having to take up the charge and move forward and do what we got to do to get what we want. And all of these things are happening. And so again, if the outside world has that level of expectation of us, then we come home with that outside world energy and you bring it home. And again, if you're outside in the world making money, you're thinking that my man should cater to me, which is a little off balance. It's definitely off balance.
Yeah, I mean, like, and again, it's kind of off topic, but I'm just thinking, we were talking about it not too long ago, though. What other community do the women get themselves Father's Day presents?
I don't know of any. Does anybody know of any? I don't know of any community where...
What other communities women celebrate themselves as dads, saying, I do everything myself?
I don't
Maybe
know.
That's because of your choices.
Dum, da, dum, dum.
Maybe. That's all I'm saying.
So, speaking of choices, so there, the male birth control has come out. So, apparently there is a male birth control. Yes, it was announced, I think it was yesterday, that male birth control has come out. And it apparently has no hormones, and there's all of these things. So a lot of women are in an uproar in the comment section where I was reading, like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe there's no hormones, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about a woman's reproduction now kind of being in the hands of men? Because again, the only person who gets pregnant is the woman.
That's a market correction, and that's an anomaly of the modern world and the modern woman in 2022. Look, society is in dire jeopardy if men are in control of reproduction. Because we'll, on average, fuck anything.
Back to my question. So, you do not.
I answered
you
it.
do not support the idea of this male birth control pill.
Look, men okay, that's just a reaction to the market. It's so bad out here that men, not again, ain't no broke niggas getting vasectomies.
No.
Only niggas that's got something to lose is
Absolutely.
doing that.
Agreed.
So the fact that men have had to really make contraception a part of their agenda means women have gotten so indiscriminate about it. Like, y'all have a baby by anybody. Like I said, if Quasimodo was a rapper, he'd have 2 or 3 baby mamas.
Sorlin said, careful, Rob. Ha! She said, careful, Rob. What should Rob be careful about? Here is my thoughts while Sorlin said his answer.
I feel you, but you know, I don't care. You can't cancel me. We ain't even started.
Here is I'm torn on this whole male birth control thing.
Bad idea.
I'm very torn. I am leaning towards it being not a great idea. Here's what we're gonna find. Hold on. I think what we're gonna find is women are gonna realize that they were wrong all along about men and being bad dads and so forth. If a man now has the chance to protect himself from an unwanted baby, less women are getting pregnant because a lot of the babies out there where women are saying that man ain't ish, he didn't want a baby with you. Now, when the choice is out of the woman's hand, because right now, without the birth control, I get pregnant, it is entirely my choice. And I've always said it's interesting to me that we act as if getting pregnant wasn't a choice. Right? I chose to make a man nut in me by not telling him to wear a condom. That was a choice. Because if I didn't want to get pregnant, I would be on birth control. I would tell him to wear a condom. There were all of these things that as a woman I would do. I think what we're actually going to see with this male birth control, if it actually gets adopted, are there going to be less babies born? Because now the choice isn't entirely up to a woman. Niggas like, nah, I'm good. Oh God, I shouldn't say that word. A man will say, no, I'm good. I can F you and not have to worry because I don't want you to be the mother of my child, but I want to F you.
Look, in the words of my favorite comic, Patrice O'Neal, he has a joke where he references the dental dam. Are you familiar with the dental dam?
That's the thing you put up your...
The plastic, piece of plastic you put over the coochie so it doesn't kill you, like he says.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a man pull that out on you?
No.
Because we'd rather die than talk ourselves out of some pussy.
Oh, no. So Duke says, I want to be a male birth control dealer. I'd make a killing from male sports athletes.
Yeah, you probably would. You could, but I just, man, we're in a tough spot, man. if men have to be that, you know what the next is y'all gonna have to start like dating. It's gonna be like India. Y'all gonna have to give a dowries and like y'all are completely, and that's what's happening with this. It's really fucking up the power structure. You know what I'm saying?
Giving men male birth control is actually giving them more power over reproduction, and unlike they've ever had before. Men have not had power over reproduction.
And the fact that even some guy was sitting there thinking of that, it lets it know that women are not taking reproduction as seriously as they have historically. Okay. Let's separate from humans. Does the lioness go mating with an old feeble, broke up, limping ass lion?
No.
Because they don't have money. They just have physicality.
Yeah,
that's all a lion is good for, is protecting.
You can't protect me.
In the minute he can't do that no more, he's pretty much out on his own. Yeah. And that's cool for the lion, and it's cool for the lionesses. Why don't humans understand we're more like that than like some of these other creatures? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are responsible for putting the best genetic material forward, not us. We're already doing that based on our eyes and physical attraction. Mm-hmm. We're already doing that. You guys are the gatekeepers, though. Every nigga should. Do you think Beyonce had sex with every man that wanted to?
No.
Have you had sex with every man that wanted to?
Oh,
have sex
no,
with you?
no.
Exactly.
My pum pum would be worn out.
You have to regulate that. You have to control that. You are the gatekeeper of who gets that and who doesn't. That's the one area y'all got complete control over, and y'all trying to push that shit on us.
Oh, I love this. Shammy's saying dowries are going to make a comeback. History repeats itself. Our sponsor said, Sterling Sage, some of these guys just need to wrap it up and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you could look at it like that. But no. I gotta get that shit. Just need to wrap it up. But why aren't you as a woman making sure I do? Why do I have an option? You leaving it up to me? Okay. I'm going at it raw. I'm sorry. I'm crazy.
That was a valid question. It should never be left up to men. Like, most men are not going to say, hold on.
My belly ain't going to swell up.
I don't have a condom. Like, I've had experiences where I'm like, nah. And a man will leave, find the closest 24-hour, call his brethren, go search in his car, whatever he needs to do so he can get what he wants.
Please don't fall asleep.
Right? Like, most...
Been there, done that.
Yeah, most men, if given a choice, are going to go raw. But if you say to them, because if they really... You're already in that moment.
No glove, no love.
They're going to be like, yo. And I've had guys...
I guess y'all threw that out the window.
Go to their... go to their car, search it up, do whatever they need to do. This is fact. So again...
Both parties are responsible when it comes to protection. Yes, in a perfect world, yes, I agree with that. Historically, have both parties been responsible? Let's be real now.
No.
Thank you. So that's another product of the modern world, man. Like, yo, just come on, man. Like, what higher respect can a woman pay to a man than having his child?
None. I can't give you anything higher than a baby.
How you having children indiscriminately? I'm sorry. That's my stance.
Well, there are going to be less babies born. I honestly think we're actually going to see a decline in birth rates if men adopt the birth
Yes, because we want sex, not babies.
That is fact.
It's not a one-to-one. And look here, as I joked before, if we got pregnant, humans would be fucking extinct.
Fact. If men had to go
ain't no man doing that.
So Sorrel and Sage says that goes both ways, the indiscriminate part.
No. Because men are not having sex to procreate. They're having sex. Men ain't going to discriminate on coochie. That's what I'm saying. How y'all just want to say it like... Y'all have not been in enough barbershops. Y'all have not been in enough barbershops.
Tell us what's going on in
Even
the
the best man will do some creeping if he just... feeling like, man, it's been a dry little spell. I might not normally do that, but.
I think we've come to the point where women want men to think and operate like women.
Some men are as indiscriminate as hell. That is most men are indiscriminate. Men don't really start to become selective until they start having shit to lose.
That is fact. The more a man has to lose, the less likely a woman can come and throw some BS at him because they've got too much to lose. And that's what you're right. Sterling Sage says, hold on. There's a whole conversation happening. So News Nation says, oh, Lord of mercy. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do some conversation. And women will F an ugly man once he has money. And then Sterling Sage says, effing an ugly man with money isn't indiscriminate. That's strategy. Facts.
I agree with that.
Here is the thing.
He can provide for you and your children.
As women, we need to be clear about what this is. I am blessed, and I get it. Rob is brilliant. He's a handsome man. But the reality is, I'm supposed to be the good-looking one in the relationship, not
Facts.
the man.
Facts. If I'm more worried about it than she is, what the hell are we
So
doing?
a woman is supposed to be the good-looking one. Again, nature has taught us that it isn't the most handsome that survive, it's the strongest. And in this world with these financial markets, a man with money has a level of strength that broke Tyrone, who looks like Rob but ain't got nothing going on for him, ain't. So yes, it is strategy. I don't expect my daughters to come home with the best looking men. It would be nice, but I want to talk to whomever he is and find out what's he about. I don't want him to be short, fat, and ugly, because again, I do care about genetics and my lineage and what my grandchildren look like. But that is strategy, because it's the woman who's supposed to be the looker. The man is supposed to be the provider. What? And so men with money have access to lookers.
Yes. What do I say? The highest compliment a child can pay their parents is, my mama is pretty and my daddy makes money.
Well, that's actually what Danny said today in not so many words.
But again, from a child's perspective, that's as good as it gets.
That is facts.
You don't hear kids talking about my mama make money and my daddy handsome. The fuck?
And Duke Nation says, and not all men will fuck anything. Behave yourself at Sorlid Sage. Sorlid Sage says, facts. Men who spend more time in the mirror than I do are red flags. Red flags. Bright red flags. Again, it's not for me.
Stop this. That is not strategy. What am I hearing?
No, it is strategy.
It is, man.
It is. I'm telling you, women, it's strategic. A man is supposed to be the provider for the family. And it shouldn't. So again, when we're hearing these narratives where women are talking about, but he wasn't good enough, like he wasn't good looking enough, and blah, blah, blah. Now, the one thing I used to care about is height. Clearly, he's 6'9". Height was important to me, and it is what it is. But I didn't care what you look like that much. Like for me, height was a thing. Like my daughter's father is 6'7". My daughter's 5'11". She's Model S. That was on purpose.
Dude,
okay.
I gotta get at you a little bit.
I'm ready.
Shouldn't we be teaching our daughters to make their own money instead of fucking for it? Stop this. That's why we're in this position, Duke. Because we're teaching our daughters to make their own fucking money instead of being wives. Ain't nobody telling them to fuck for money. But teaching them how to be led by a man, how to be a wife, that's very, very different, man.
Let me just be clear.
And I'm not coming at you at all like upset or nothing, bro, but I'm like, that did trigger me a little bit, because that's men. That's why we shouldn't be responsible for raising the daughters, yo.
Let me be...
Because, don't get no dick till you 30. That's a horrible advice for a young girl. Horrible.
Here is the thing. I was always smart enough to know that every date I went on was a down payment on sex. In our world, dates are like dowries. That's basically what a date is. The more money a man has, the more dowry he can pay, which means that my dates were fancier than most. But the expectation was he was going to get something out of it. I am not going to sit around and tell my daughters, hey, a man is going to love you for your personality or all that, because that's BS. That is not facts.
And let's be real, but like I said, we're talking tradition, we're talking ancients. A lot of this stuff is coming from tradition. We should be teaching our daughters not to fuck until they wives.
So Soren says, but that's not what they're talking about at Duke Nation. I figure if you're going to F somebody and end up pregnant, at least let it be someone who has money and not some broke ass who's couch surfing and making 77 an hour. My daddy used to say that. I have an ex-fiance, and when my daddy ended up in the nursing home, my ex-fiance came to visit. And my father is 70-something years. I think my daddy's 78 now. He turned around to him and said, are you in a position that you have enough money to marry my daughter? That was my father's concern. Good man, but can you take care of my daughter? Because I had a father who took care of his daughters. And so if he was going to hand them off to a man, it was a man who was going to financially support me. My father did not. Listen, my father knew I was educated. Education was a big part of it. He wanted me to be educated, but not so that I could necessarily go out there and run the world, so that I could support the man that I was with, to help him get to where he was. And so again, I'm all about tradition because I grew up with tradition. Despite my, my start in life being the product of an affair, which I am not ashamed of. I say that like I'm a loved child. My parents loved me. That's why I'm here. My father was all about, this is a man's role. This is a woman's role. This is how it works. A man is supposed to support you. My daddy was not talking about love. My dad never ever said to me, go out and find someone you love. He said, go out and make sure the man that you get with can support you and my grandkids.
That's why arranged marriages have a higher success
They do have
rate
a higher
in the
success
modern
rate.
world than marriages based on love and selection. Look here. There's certain stuff that it's just who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been going on for a long, long, long time. And on where we are at in the modern world currently, you know what money equates to for a woman and her children? Survival.
Mm-hmm. Because that's traditionally what it is.
And Duke, that's what women select on.
So here's the thing, Duke. If you go back in any humanity, that is what it's supposed to be. A woman is supposed to be the one who's looking for a man
who ensures
takes care
her survival.
Thank you. And a man looks for youth and he looks for looks. That's what it is. A man traditionally is looking for youth and beauty, and a woman is looking for a man who can provide and protect. That's why that protect and provide has gone through generation after generation, because that is what it is. And again, am I out here saying to our daughters, go out and absolutely not. I've been very clear with them. You will know when a man wants you because he's going to pursue you. My daughters are not going to be giving up pum-pum. However, what they're not going to do is go out there thinking that love is some type of fairy tale. They are supposed to find someone who can help them to have their lineage survive. Because it's about lineage. I'm all about, let me get good lineage. I've said that to even Danny. I've like, when we're walking down the street, I'm like, this has happened because two people who procreated together shouldn't have procreated.
Why do men select pretty women?
Because they want good lineage.
Because pretty people do better in this world than unpretty people.
And he understands with a pretty woman on his arm.
Stuff sometimes that it's like that shit should already be settled.
But men understand with a pretty woman on their arm. That's why again,
ugly dude has a baby with a beautiful woman. Jay-Z and Beyonce. Them kids pretty. Handsome guy, ugly woman.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just saying.
Lineage is important. That's traditionally what marriage and families were about. It was continuing lineage, right? It was to make sure that one generation was better than the next generation. And again, it was selected because the women looked at the men who had the financial means to take care of their children, and men looked for youth and beauty. That you can look up any historical book, go to any place, Google that right now. And that's actually how we're wired. We've gotten miscued into all of these, independence and all of that stuff. But like I said on one show, and we're going to wrap up in a second, independent means alone. We need to teach our daughters to be self-sufficient, because independent women end up alone. Self-sufficient women are able to raise a family. That is very, very different. And that is the understanding that we need to be having. I'm not telling my daughters, don't be self-sufficient, don't take care of self. We're going to tell our son the same thing. People should be self-sufficient, but relationships require interdependency. And this is why it's going to be interesting with all of these new developments and birth controls and so forth. We're actually going to find out, women are going to be shocked if men start taking birth control. The excuse that Black women have been using in our community, that Black men ain't ish, is going to go away if Black men are responsible for reproduction. There are going to be less babies.
Didn't we just read an article where the lady, they had one kid, she wanted another child, he didn't.
Yeah.
So
he had a
secret vasectomy, and he is like, I've never had a better sex life.
Yeah. Because
and people are like, he's so messed up.
He's a terrible person.
A terrible person or whatever. But it's also like, how is your libido higher trying to create a child than it is just to keep him
happy
with you? No, not even keep him happy. Fuck, keep him. Just keep him, plain keep him.
So just to repeat that, we're reading an article, and it was basically where there was a married couple, and the man revealed that he had a vasectomy. He has one child. He told his wife he did not want any more. She was insisting that they have more. He went and had a vasectomy. She does not know. She's out there trying for a baby that will never happen. Women were getting mad in these comments talking about he doesn't understand what he's doing to her because the reality is she's probably thinking something's wrong with her. But I said, well, isn't there something already wrong with a woman who wants to have a baby that her husband doesn't want?
Exactly. Why is she pushing this child on him?
Like, if my husband says I don't want a baby, so I'm gonna just take your sperm and give you something that you actually don't want.
Which is
what's happening
on.
right
That's
now.
What's going on.
And so male birth control is about to change everything. If y'all men really start taking male birth control, especially in the Black community, you're gonna start realizing that, like Uncle Kevin likes to say, there is a small percentage of men actually going out there procreating.
And for real, like, and just to act like, oh, you got her pregnant because you was just shooting up the club. It's like, it's not always like that. Literally, there's leakage and drippings and stuff that's going on. It's like, he could be the pull-out king and still wind up with a pregnancy.
Interesting. So Duke says, well, I want a woman that I can build with, not mine. Sorry. Exclamation mark. So do you think if a woman is not out there chasing the bag, you can't build with her? Because I'm not necessarily out there chasing the bag. Been there, done that. But we're building a great life together. I understand that I am his helpmate and his support. And I do everything to ensure that he is getting the bag he deserves. The more money he makes, the less worry I have. Is that what you're looking for? Or are you looking for a woman who's also out there chasing the bag? Because that's a whole different. I've been there. I'm not chasing no bag. I'm tired. My legs are tired. It's just, and again, it's not in a woman's nature to chase. So I'm not chasing anything.
And again, as I've gotten older and understood it, and you work your hours for Stevenson Worldwide, that makes our family stronger. If she's making 80, 90,000, now she's out the house 50, 60, 70 hours a week, making the man's enterprise stronger. Like I'm sorry. Like I just certain things I think we just got too smart. Started thinking too much. Like you said, slavery ain't crush us. Jim Crow didn't defeat us. You know, segregation didn't beat us down. I can remember, like you talk to old black men. There was a time where the greatest crime you could commit as a black person was to be a tarnish, to be a detriment on the community. Mm-hmm. You know? Remember a time when how you made your money mattered?
Facts.
Like if you was a vile person with a big bag, it didn't change the fact that you were a vile person.
Yeah, agreed.
Now we just care about the bag, and that's not good.
Well, like we say, we're changing the conversation around black relationships, and this definitely was a changing the conversation around black relationships. We need to have these conversations because we're not saying one way is better than the other. We're just showing you the formula that we're using to stay together because that is our goal. It's actually not about, again, like we said, happiness is maybe number 3 or 4 on the list because we fundamentally know that we're two imperfect people. So how are we going to make each other happy all the time? What we are committed to is the commitment of staying together and creating something that we can stay together because we understand that having better communities requires to be in families, being better families. And it doesn't have to be romantic. I have family with a number of you that are on right now. We are family, but we understand that we have to work together to stay together as a community. So I'm going to read the last comment from Sorrel and Sage. I want someone who's willing and able to help me build my dreams without killing myself in the process. If you're not helping me, you're holding me back. And that's very different.
Hard point in pointing out the
right?
light in that.
So, and then she also says, having a whole relationship with someone who can't contribute to and facilitate your success financially, she put in brackets, is
He said
counterproductive.
agreed.
And you said agreed at Sorrel and Sage. And again, that's her in her feminine.
It's why is that so? Again, why is that so?
That was a
dishonest?
very just to
Like,
speak.
no,
That was a
man.
very
Yes.
feminine comment. Yes, I want to grow. I want to build, but I understand that I'm going to need the partner, the person, the significant other, the husband, the whomever you have.
Where's the
Tell me, and it is
stability?
counterproductive for me to be with a broke man.
There's nothing wrong.
And
with
there's
that.
nothing wrong with that because that's a woman in her feminine. Sorrel and Sage, who again is our sponsor. The most amazing products, by the way. The website will be
Absolutely.
up in the next, I think, 24 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sorrel and Sage, but I'm telling you, this is a woman who will be a millionaire in the next 3 to 5 years. Mark my words. You're going to be hearing the name Joanne Brathwaite in magazines in the next 3 to 5 years because what she's doing is going to revolutionize the skin industry. I'm telling you. But she's still in her feminine, and again, she come from she's West Indian, and she comes from where Rihanna's from. So us West Indian ladies, we understand. But her in her feminine still understands. I can go up there and chase my bag.
Well, that's a good way.
Chase my bag, and we don't even use that term. Go up there and do what I need to do.
Well,
but my man's still gonna be right there by my
that's
side.
a great way of putting it. You support me, I help you.
That formula has worked for us. I support him to be able to financially support this house, and that financial support goes to allow me to not have to be chasing anything because that gets tiring. We're actually not built the same way. Men and women are not built the same way. We are actually not supposed to be out there toiling. Okay? That's not us. We're not out there. Do you think farmers, there's a reason why farmers are mostly male when they're toiling the land. Their women are inside cracking eggs and cooking up chicken. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I get it, and I've been there.
Still in slavery, if the man and the woman was picking cotton together, she didn't go back into the cabin thinking they were equals.
No. And she was there because she was forced. She was a slave. That was slavery.
Yeah, she was not doing that shit.
She was not doing that by choice.
Definitely not working by choice.
Because, and when she had the choice,
sure she would have rather been home with the kids.
Thank you. When she had the choice, it became that way. It became where more women were staying home, or they had those, they were doing housekeeping jobs or anything, but they were home to take care of the kids and all of that stuff. When choice. But again, feminism was supposed to be about choice, not equality. And that's where we've taken it. We've taken it to equality. And I am not equal to him, nor is he equal to me. We're distinctly different. And there's nothing wrong with that. We were made biologically different. And this is why, again, we're not toiling the land. However, I digress. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. For this. This was an amazing conversation. We kind of went upward and outwards and all over the place.
Next week will be sexier money talks.
We'll do sexier money talk.
Very productive conversation. Duke Nation, appreciate your feedback, brother. Always 100 with you. We appreciate the discourse. This ain't the type of show where you gotta agree. We don't got the relationship where you gotta
agree. Exactly. But you should be able to have
no bullshit. And thankfully you didn't. You have a right to look. Again, back to the beginning. Whatever type of relationship you want, get with somebody who wants that same type of relationship.
The problem comes when you are with someone who wants traditional and you want modern.
Right.
Because you're never going to be able to get to their side and you're not going to get them to your side, and that relationship is bound to fail. So we're all about, yes, let's have the conversation, because having the conversation, you start realizing, you know what? I don't want this, but I do like this, and this works for me. But the problem is when you're in mismatched relationships. Rob realized he was in a mismatched relationship. That didn't work for him. So now we're in a relationship that we both want. It's not mismatched. It's very aligned. Alignment is the word for 2022. Start aligning your life. Alignment in your career, alignment in your personal life. That's going to be important, because I'm telling you, there are things that are coming that we need to be prepared for. So I want to thank our sponsor again, Sorrel and Sage. Go to their Instagram. It's Sorrel and Sage CA, and their website, which is shopsorrelandsage.com. They make skincare for the sensitive soul. And trust me, you want to be in now, because once those products start selling out, and no longer available to us regular minions, you are going to regret it. So go to Sorlin Sage. Thank you to everybody. Yes, babe.
We're going to be simulcasting on StreamYard also in season 2 coming forward. And eventually the goal is to primarily transition the show to StreamYard and push that to other platforms. But we're still in the growth period. Just kind of putting that out there for you guys, just a heads up that that's kind of the plans for things. And sorry, I cut you off there.
That's it.
Throw that in there.
All right.
That's it.
Good night.
We ain't got no questions.
We have no questions. We are
We ain't got no questions.
We are, and I can't even see this to turn this around.
All week.
It's been a long week.
We literally just got ready for this. Next week, same time, better show.
All right, everybody. Thank you, and bring a little fuck your feelings into your week. Bye.
For sure. Bye-bye.